In an era where every single footballer in tactics look to be inverting, you've got inverting fullbacks, you've got inverting wingers, suddenly a player comes along from a country and just brings a new classic traditional style back into life. And that is young, now Manchester City winger Savio, also known as Savinho. Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode, and today we're going to be looking at new Manchester City winger Savio. If you're new here, my name's Antonio Mango and I do a deep dive analysis on all the best up and coming wingers. And since we've got Savio going to Manchester City in the Premier League, I'm going to tell you everything that he'll be able to bring to Manchester City, which will be difficult because I don't know what Pep's thinking. Pep's crazy with his thinking, but I'll give it a try. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on another episode. We'll be looking at his strengths, weaknesses, and like I say, exactly what he will bring to Manchester City. So firstly, let's profile Savinho. Do I call him Savinho or Savio? I'll probably just mix between the two throughout this episode. But he was born on the 10th of April in 2004, which makes him 20 at the moment. He was born in Brazil and he was raised on his grandparents' farm. He joined the academy of Club Atlético at the age of 11. And he was spotted because he actually played against their under-17s team when he was just 11. And they saw his potential, so they did sign him. He signed his first professional contract in 18th of June 2020, agreeing to a 3-year deal with a release clause of 60 million. So that just goes to show they had high hopes for this boy. He made his professional debut in September 2020, just shortly after signing his first professional contract. In doing so, he was at the age of 16. He became the youngest ever player to play for Atletico in the league. And then on the 19th of May 2022, he scored his first professional goal at the age of 18, becoming the youngest player to ever score for Atletico. After a handful of appearances for Club Atletico, he was signed into the City group and joined Tres, fee of reportedly 6.5 million. That stint didn't go according to plan. He took a big injury, was out for 2 months, and he jumped between young PSV and PSV seniors, but he only made a handful of appearances for them. Then in July 2023, Sávio moved to Girona in La Liga, on loan for the 2023-24 season. Then that was his breakout season. He finished that league campaign with 9 goals and 10 assists in 37 games. And he was one of the most priceless players in the league, allowing and helping Girona reach UEFA Champions League football for the first time in their history. As being part of the City group, it was inevitable after a season like that he would end up in Manchester City. And let me cast your mind back to when he first joined Girona. I predicted this. There's my tweet for evidence. I said that Savio would end up in Manchester City. Also been a reliable member for the Brazil national team at youth level. He started out with the Brazil under-15s. He won the South America under-15 championship, scoring 4 goals in that tournament. And he's played all the way up through the age groups and also represented Brazil at senior level. Savio is extremely unique, and what gives him the edge over other players is his ability to play like an old-fashioned winger. And what I mean by that, he's a left footer who naturally loves playing on the left wing. He's absolutely thrived at Girona on the left wing. He's easily become one of their key players and established himself as one of the most promising footballers in the world. Always been a left winger. In his formative years, he was pretty much used as an inverted right winger. It was only at Girona when he got moved over to the left and he actually literally took that in his stride and just thrived. In fact, on the left wing is where he's been at his most prolific as well. And you can say that's because he's got more experience. But even when he come into the Girona side at first, he didn't actually have that much experience. He's played 44 times on the left wing, providing 10 goals and providing 10 assists. He's played 30 times on the right wing, only scoring 3 goals and providing 2 assists. So it just goes to show that he is a lot more prolific on the left wing. And this is why he differs from anything at Manchester City, because they don't have a natural left footer that thrives on the left wing. So throughout his career so far, he's played 52% of that on the left wing. And that's exactly why Pep Guardiola could be looking at a more traditional left winger. Although he's very, very capable as playing as that inverted right winger, where he likes to cut inside, and he's got a glorious left foot where he can get shots off or combine with teammates. But having him on that left wing just gives you that something different, that edge over the opponents. So what can you expect from Savio? Well, he's a flashy pace, dribbling ability, creativity, his aggressiveness and his skills allow him to be extremely versatile. His one-on-one dribble ability and tremendous crossing of technique allow him to play on the left wing and the right wing. But those two combined is why he's been such a potent weapon on the left wing. It's something of a throwback, terrorising defences, isolating his fullback in a one-on-one duel, going around the outside and then whipping in a chipped technique cross, which he favours to deliver the ball into the box. But like I say, when he plays on the left wing, his style fashion's more of a classic style winger. He's the kind of player who likes to create width, receive the ball on the touchline, isolate his fullback, assess the situation, beat him on a one-on-one, and then hit the byline and cross the ball in. Mastering those situations. And he's got a unique technique. He loves to just knock the ball in the inside, looking like he's going to go on the inside, and then dropping his shoulder and going around the outside. It off balances the opponents and catches them off guard every single time. It's glorious to watch. He's got blistering quick feet. He's an agile dribbler. He's got wonderful balance. He's blur of body feints and manipulations and a dropping of shoulder. Every single move seems to have purpose. Every step over is measured. Every nutmeg is intentional. Every touch of the ball is precise. Man City are getting a really exciting and different winger. What I'm saying is the one thing that you'll notice is his exceptional dribbling skills and technical ability. He's got pace and abundance, ankle break and balance, and his agility to go both ways makes him a wonderful technician. About him most, he does everything with speed and intent. He's aggressive in his dribbles, and that's not something you can normally say of a Brazilian winger. He looks to go direct and he's aggressive. What I always say about wingers, they've got a wonderful relationship with the ball, and Savio's no different. He's quick feet manipulation in tight spaces. He's incredibly dangerous in open spaces where he can open up his legs and gallop. He's got everything you want from a dribbler. And it shows in his numbers as well. He's averaging 7.14 dribbles per game, sitting in the 95th percentile. He's averaging 3.15 successful dribbles, sitting in the 93th percentile. He's averaging 5.4 progressive carries in the 90th percentile. He's averaging 2.8 carries in the final third, 71 percentile, but that's because he receives the ball mainly in the final third. But his carries in the penalty area are really impressive, 2.4 per game. But he does receive a lot of progressive passes, and that's why his carries in the final third aren't as high as what you would expect, because he's in the final third when he receives it. But it's when he receives a ball he's at his most dangerous. He's got a wonderful first touch, brings the ball under control with sensational precision. And it's that kind of detail and level of skill that sets him apart from other wingers. So what I'm saying is, mainly he only needs one touch when other elite wingers might need 2 or 3. And that makes him quicker and sharper on his next move, making him extremely difficult to defend against. This means he can receive the ball in the tightest of spaces, but he can also do what he loves to do and receive the ball out wide before either cutting in or beating his fullback on the outside. So in a nutshell, Savio mainly stands out for his dribbling ability, but there is more, don't worry. But the way he can twist, turn as effectively as he can, he's extremely difficult to defend against. And when you add his balance, his skill and his poise to lose opponents, and he has a larger stride in open spaces as well, make him extremely strong dribbler. But what set him apart from other wingers is his ability to go on the outside. He's tallied 15 open play crosses following a successful take-on. That's incredible, which is 4 more than any other La Liga player last season. And among La Liga wingers and midfielders, he ranks joint third for the most completed crosses with 28. But his ability to go on the outside and hit crosses in the box doesn't make him one-dimensional. He ranks 8th for successful link-ups when coming inside with 38 in La Liga last season. So that means he's a two-way dribbler. He can go on the outside and hit the byline, hitting crosses, or he can come inside and link up with teammates. He's extremely creative and intelligent in the way he moves the ball. But like I mentioned earlier, his dribbling has such conviction. The all with a purpose. He doesn't just do it for the sake of it. It makes him an extremely useful tool when breaking it down low blocks. And that's music to Pep Guardiola's ears. Dribble at full speed in one direction just to outrun an opponent, or he can modulate his speed to quickly change direction to outsmart an opponent. His dribbling allows him to orchestrate plays effectively. So he has a variety in different styles and how he likes to attack the opposition. The most obvious one is where he receives the ball, isolates his fullback and beats him on a one-on-one because he thrives in that area. But he also has a good understanding of his teammates and space around him, and the ability to come inside and link up with players and occupy half spaces when receiving the ball. So he really causes chaos for opponents. He's adapted going on the outside and hitting across. He's got a wonderful vision, but he's also adapted coming inside and either getting a shot off himself or combining with teammates. First touch is always explosive and looks to move forward, but he remains extremely balanced. That means when he's running at speed, he's nimble enough to avoid challenges, or when he's just slowing the pace down, looking to entice his man into a challenge, he's got the ability to burst away. But he's also an asset off the ball as well because he understands the game. You can see he's thinking about his whereabouts, his teammates' positions, and the opposition's positions. So if everything's inside and it's very congested in the middle of the park, you'll often see him peeling wider to receive a ball or to give his team width for a switch of play. Or if the ball's on the right-hand side and he knows he's got space to move into in the inside channel, he will do so where he can pick up the ball and he's got either way to go. He can go on the outside, he can come on the inside. He's really, really dangerous in half spaces. So what's his shooting technique like? Well, he's got a wonderful strike with both power and precision, but he differs depending on where he plays. So if he's playing on the left-hand side, he's at his most dangerous where he's moving in behind the opposition instead of dribbling across them because he doesn't favour his right foot. So he will look to move in behind the opposition where he can shoot across a goal. But if he's playing on the right-hand side, he will look to cut inside before either send it to the far post or just having more variety on his strikes because he's got that ability to open up his body and shoot on his left foot. So naturally, when he picks up the ball on the left-hand side, defenders will look to force him inside because it's moving him onto his right foot. But like I mentioned earlier, he's got a wonderful technique of just moving inside onto his right before exploding away onto his left. And it looks so obvious when he does it, but defenders can't prevent it because of his agile ability, his agility, his nimble changes of speed. It's really tremendous. So he's really intelligent in his off-ball movements. His vision allows him to detect spaces, but he also looks to move players out of position to create space for others. And that's a really, really big quality, especially in a system like Pep Guardiola's. Now, I mentioned earlier that his shooting was good, but he doesn't do enough of it. He's a high-volume dribbler, high-volume creator. But when it comes to shooting himself, he barely averages a shot per game. So that is something that's going to have to increase at Manchester City because he can be a difference maker from winning a game to draw in a game. So what's he like defensively? Well, this is an area for improvement. At Girona, it's more of a tactical defensive approach, getting in your shape and just holding your shape. Whereas City, it's probably going to be trying to force turnovers a lot quicker. So that is something in an area he's going to have to learn when to press, when to hold his shape, when to engage, and when to block lines. That's something that Pep Guardiola is going to have to coach into him. So what are his weaknesses? Well, I touched upon one just very shortly. I said his shot volume will have to improve. He's a high volume dribbler, high volume creator. He's excellent at creating from the dribble. And that's something that's going to give City a new dimension. But his shot volume is going to have to improve if he wants to really make a difference in a game. At Girona, it is steadily improving, but we're just going to have to see more of it, more consistency in his shooting. And also his passing is going to have to improve. He's excellent when crossing the ball, when he's got a target to hit. And that's something that Erling Haaland can benefit from. But when it comes to the final ball or final decision making, that is something that can let him down. He doesn't rank highly on key passes or through balls per game. So that is something that's going to have to improve if he wants to break down a low block from a passing point of view. And then mentioned earlier, his defensive work rate. He does well in working in a strategic defensive shape. But when it comes to when to press, when to harry opponents, when to look to force quick turnovers, that's something that's going to have to be coached into him. He's really going to have to get some discipline in his defensive work rate, but also his physicality in defensive duels as well. In attacking duels, his physicality is very good because he wins a lot of attacking duels. In fact, no player in La Liga had more successful take-ons than him, 98. No player won more attacking duels than Savio, 128 in La Liga last season. So his ability to absorb impact is tremendous. And because of his low center of gravity and his ability to shift and change his direction and speed so quickly, allows him to glide past challenges. But physicality in a defensive point of view, that will need improving. So one thing that I do hope is Pep Guardiola allows him to play the way he is, allows him to express himself. And we've seen recently, Doku was used on the right wing. Not a lot, but a few occasions. So does Pep Guardiola have in mind to have a natural left footer on the left wing and a natural right footer on the right wing, and Erling Haaland just eating up chances in the box? That is something that Pep Guardiola has the option of now. Now he can play with inverted wingers. He can play with the more classic style wingers because as we've seen from the statistic point of view and Savio's season last season, that he thrives on that left wing. So he has the ability to play on that left wing, the right wing, and even played a few occasions as an attacking midfielder. So his versatility gives Pep Guardiola options. And if you can just polish some areas, as in the defensive work, maybe the final ball of when to play that ball, that's just going to put him up another level. Savio is a great talent and he's got the ability to compete in the Premier League. It's whether Pep Guardiola changes him into a system player or allows him to play his expressive Brazilian style and flair, which I hope he does. So there we go, guys. That's the end of the episode, and I appreciate you all sticking around and watching this. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button, because that's the most crucial one. So if you've enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe. I do appreciate your time, and until next time, thank you very much.